hello, hello, hello. Hey guys. What's up, man? Hey guys. Hey. How's it freaking going? It's going pretty good. It's going pretty freaking good if you ask me. Pretty freaking good. Hold on. Okay. What was that slosh? It was the sound of my Kirsha Gamer Subs cup that came in. It's very beautiful. I love looking at her tits and ass. She has a very beautiful, voluptuous butt on this cup. Want to get a Gamer Subs cup? They're fun, but I can't use it for work. Yes, you can. Don't let society tell you what is and isn't suitable for your workplace. I bring around my Shy Lily yoga cup with me all the time. I brought in a Gamer Subs cup that had, I think it had like Soro Tomo Watashi or something, which kind of, and I asked my teacher what it meant. My Japanese teacher, and she was like, it means you could have this or you could have me. And it was a girl with her tits out, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. So, lose your job if you brought that cup to work. Would you though? Would you? Okay, hold on. Let me get freaking ready. Let me get freaking ready. Okay. Hello! I don't know why it fucked up my slides. That's really mean of him. I don't know why that happened. Anyways, hello. What's going on, guys? What's going on, man? Clients seeing that as I go to the server room? Who gives a fuck? They're not gonna care. You'll be fine. Ugh. Oh, no, open it or preserve it. I opened mine. It's so beautiful. I love it. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to Stop Being Hikikomori Loser Depressive Neat Class 101 with Blue Channel. Important and meaningful stream, it is. I even wrote down notes. I even made notes. I was showering without music yesterday and driving without music so that I could think to myself and I could formulate thoughts on this topic. So I have a lot to talk about. I guess I should add some disclaimers before I get into the meat and potatoes of this, though, that obviously I'm a fucking VTuber and I'm an anime girl, okay? Like, I'm not a doctor, so this is all based off of personal experience and not science. None of this is science. I'm just explaining what worked for me, okay? Cool? Yeah, unreliable narrator type shit. VTuber gasped. Yeah, you didn't see? You didn't know that? I know it can be kind of hard to tell that I am a VTuber. I don't think most people would guess. So... Okay, number one, not a doctor. Not certified in anything. Number two, based off of personal experience. Number three, I should have BGM, shouldn't I? Hold on. Can I bring my BGM into... Copy. Paste. Oh. Where'd it go? Come freaking back. How do I... Huh. Ah, there we go. I fixed it. Sweet. Okay. And then, now that we have BGM so that it's not so lonely. Halloween chiptune? We can't listen to Halloween chiptune while I'm talking about how I wanted to kill myself. We can't listen, we can't talk about Halloween. We can't have Halloween chiptune on in the background. We can't, we simply can't. Muyu underscore Halloween underscore chiptune 008 will not suffice. Not even a little. We gotta be serious, chat. Put on your serious caps. Get freaking serious. Oh, and then number 3, I cope with jokes and making lots of jokes, and I'm very blunt, right? So, if I say something and it's offensive or you don't like it or whatever, and you think, oh, well, that's wrong or whatever, right? Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm very bad with, like, how do I put this? Choosing my words carefully and having a filter. So I'm just gonna say it how I think I should say it, and don't take offense to anything. Yeah. Because some people will get really offended if you don't consider their exact situation, or if you say something a little bit wrong when it comes to mental health matters, and I am not that kind of person. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I feel like it, and we'll get to why I'm gonna say why I gave a few of those disclaimers in the future. But yeah, this is, can I take offense? No, you cannot take offense. Yeah, subtlety is not something I speak very, very clearly. So, okay. With that all out of the way, hi guys. My name was Lou. My name is Lou. And oh wait, actually, hold on. There we go. No, wait, my BGM. Fuck. The thing in the top of the screen you see is the BGM. Hold on. Can I move it? I'm gonna move it. Check this shit out, chat. Watch out. Okay, now you can hear it again. Okay. Girl failure is an oxymoron. Women can't really fail compared to how men can. Yes, they can. Yes, they absolutely can. I'm sorry. You're wrong. You're just completely wrong. Failing at life is very much gender neutral. Sorry, buddy. We're not talking about sex or relationships. That's a completely different thing, okay? Well, I wouldn't say it's a completely different thing. But I wouldn't necessarily. I would say that you're wrong. So, but we'll save all of my yapping and all that for the end of the stream. Let me get through my PowerPoint first and explain myself. My name is Angela Lou Rayonnaut. I live at 308 Negro Lane. Okay. So, my name is Lou. I was a former girl failure. I am still kind of a girl failure. Not really, though. I think I've healed a lot. And I've come a very far way from where I used to be. And I'm really happy to be able to share my knowledge with you, to at least help someone. This is a PowerPoint. It is. Welcome to class. I gotta stop making cutaway gags and jokes. It's not helpful to my cause. Okay. So, okay. Blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? Why did it? Oh, it's not in order? Is it not in order? Oh, no. Oh, no. Is it not in order? Please don't tell me it's randomizing my playback. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay. It's kind of fucked up, but it's fine. So I also stole these slides from Canva, so I didn't do any of this theming. I just put in my own words, so sorry if it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Okay. So, we're just gonna start with definitions, just because I don't know if you guys know what everything means. A NEET is a young person, or I guess old person too. Not in education, employment, or training. Hikikomori, people who withdraw from society with extreme degrees of isolation and confinement. Depression, serious mood disorders characterized by persistent feelings of sadness, loss of interest in activities, and other symptoms that interfere with daily life. Okay. And these are all comorbid with each other at some point, kind of. They don't all have to be constantly comorbid with each other, right? But they're definitely not unrelated. There is definitely a very big issue. And they all can rear their own heads. A NEET... I would also like to say, depression is not just feeling sad. It's not crying every once in a while and being sad. It's like, from my own personal experience, it's like having a really heavy fucking boulder on you and you want to get up to do something, but you just can't because there's a giant fucking boulder on you. But the boulder is actually your brain, and your brain is like, man, fuck this shit. We can't get up, and you gotta be like, okay. Does that kind of make sense? Does that make sense? Loss of all emotions. Very true. Very true. You don't feel anything. You don't want to do anything. You have no interest in daily life. Being a hikikomori can also be comorbid with, like, agoraphobia as well. Just get a job. Easy. Oh, man. Okay. I always just felt nothing. Yeah, that's not normal. That's not normal, buddy. Okay. We move forward. Okay. So, Calimari asked this earlier. He was like, alright, what's your credentials on this topic? Well, I'll start with my credentials. Okay? I won't exactly trauma dump on you, but I do feel like it is important to understand my perspective and where I'm coming from with this live stream, okay? So, in general, I had a pretty rough childhood. I won't get into it, but if you can imagine the bad things, I guarantee you I've been through it before. It's why I'm so funny. Mood disorders that I was unaware of at the time and that I was not able to receive treatment for until I was an adult. So, in my personal case, that is major depressive disorder and borderline personality disorder. So, yeah. And then, in the heat of my worst depressive periods, I would go 3 months without showering. That was my record, but usually, if on average, it would be, oh, well, thank you for the $1. It would be 1 week, or not 1 week, excuse me, 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks between showers, on average. I have permanent tooth and gum damage, including 2 half-rotted, one of them that is almost completely gone, replaced teeth, and I have a lot of tooth stains and stuff from not brushing them for like weeks at a time. I had rats destroy a portion of my closet and my clothing because I just didn't fucking clean my room and there was so much garbage in it. I didn't speak to anyone for 2.5 years during high school because I got bullied a lot, and I genuinely felt that if I spoke, I was gonna get fucking killed. I was very anxious about it. I watched gore and live snuff videos to feel literally anything. I watched a lot of gore and snuff to feel literally fucking anything. Because I was so depressed that I could not, like, feel anything. What is snuff? Live gore. Like real life stuff. Multiple suicide attempts, including 1 hospitalization. And, in conclusion, I've been through the trenches. I have been through the fucking trenches. I've been through the fucking trenches, man. Like, I get it. Shit's rough. Shit's rough. Typical mortician. Jeez. At least you weren't schizo, right? You forgot to put it on there. I actually was thinking about that in the shower. I was like, oh man, I thought that the Russians were communicating to me through my fucking tinnitus. Oh well. But yeah, that was also something. I also thought that I was being gang stalked by Slender Man at one point, but that's like a completely different thing. Anyways, it kind of shows you how bad that my mental state was, right? I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't talk to anybody. Yeah, it was really, really bad. It was really, really freaking bad. So, yeah. Yeah. Used to be scared of Shadow Mario. Okay. Started because of something, or was it a gradual thing that came from childhood? Gradual. I would say there was a few specific events that kicked off the worst oppressive period of my life. Which happened when I went mute for those 2.5 years of high school. All of this kind of happened in that same 2.5 years where I just kind of didn't leave my house. I stayed inside for at least a year. All of this happened. It was kind of rough. It was very, very rough. But yeah, it was definitely, I wouldn't say there was one specific thing that led to all of this. It was the culmination of a lot of different things with maybe one triggering event. You feel me? You feel me? Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, those are my credentials on the topic. I tried to be as thorough as possible without being too in-depth, because nobody wants to listen to some random chick on the internet trauma dump, you know? Nobody wants to listen to me trauma dump, right? So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, certified trench dweller. I got trench foot and I got trench foot like nobody's business. Self but understandable, true. Filter out the weaklings? Nah. Are you sure the Russians are still not here? Oh man. Alright. But man, I'm not really good at this whole improv thing, am I? So I guess with all of that being said, I'll kind of walk you through my process of how things started to get better. Mind you, this process took 5 to 6 years. I am out of high school by a long time now, and I only started healing my junior or senior year of high school. I think it was... The point is that it takes a long time. I'm going to be honest with you. You will not, if your life sucks, if your life fucking sucks like mine does, and you kind of got dealt a shitty hand including everything, right? And not even just that, right? But like, if you're sad and you're a loser and depressed and you don't want to go outside and you hate people, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It will be difficult. You will have trouble talking to people. You will feel like an alien. It is all part of the reintegration process. It's going to suck. It always sucks. I still talk to people and I feel like a skinwalker. I'm not like them. I look at people and I don't feel normal still. But the point is not for you to get entirely better. The point is for you to become functional, right? So the point here being that it's okay if it takes a while, you know? for example, it took me 5 to 6 years just to get functional enough to actually be able to survive in the real world. It's still really hard for me to make friends and talk to people on an interpersonal level. It is still fucking really, it is still extremely hard. So, but here's kind of how I started that process, and it's gonna be different for everyone. But here is how this sort of happened for me. So I was really fucking depressed, right? I was sitting inside all day in my bedroom, not talking to anyone, just kind of staring at the ceiling, being a loser freakazoid and hating myself and constantly wanting to die, right? And I'm not crying. That sounded like, the sniffle sounded like I was crying, but I was not crying. Sorry. And I'm just like, I'm trying to get my words together. So, self-admittedly, I did not have the best relationship. I do not have the best, it's better now. It's a little better. But I did not have the best relationship with my parents or my family. And so eventually my parents kind of come in to my little rot space and they're like, you're a fucking loser, depressed bitch, and we don't like you. Get a job or we're kicking you out, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, that's not good. I'm like 16. If they kick me out, I'm gonna have to, it's over. Like, it's so over, right? So, you know, kind of bound by constraints. And I will say, it is, I was a bum, right? I was depressed, but I wasn't doing anything. I didn't go to school. All I did was stay inside. I didn't have a job. I didn't do anything. I didn't have my driver's license, nothing, right? I turn around, I become like 17 or something, right? Like, it's like 16 or 17. I get my first job at Walmart, and it was extremely uncomfortable, and it was terrible, and I hated it, and I got headaches and migraines all the fucking time, and I was still majorly depressed, and it still made me really want to kill myself. But it did step me out of that zone, and it sort of forced me to go outside. It forced me to interact with the world, and it was not something that I liked. It definitely made it worse in some aspects. However, I still was able to, like, I guess, sort of talk to people. Not really, but like, kind of talk to people, you know? Kitchen does to a motherfucker. But it, yeah. Not being a great place to work, it's okay. The point is that I needed any type of job to kind of like avoid being kicked out. So I went back to school. I started going back to high school. I started doing this job, and it was fucking miserable. It was fucking miserable, and I hated it, but it did work. It did what it was supposed to do, and I, at the very least, started going back outside again and sort of reintegrating into society, right? And I did that for a while, and it still made me fucking miserable and suicidal and all that nonsense, but I did manage to last. And we'll get into how in the next few slides because of reasons. But I was as functional as I could be without having any sort of professional help for my issues and within the environment that I was in. I will say, one of the biggest factors that really contributed to my mental health getting a lot better was getting out of my current like environment, if that makes sense. I got to move out for college eventually, and I did find that, at least for me, getting out of the environment that was making me really depressed and having a lot of evil ass rape thoughts was very beneficial for me. It didn't fix all of my problems, because nothing ever will. Nothing will fix all of your problems. There is no God solution, right? But, like, you know, where does Shark Girl debut fit into all of this? It's coming, right? But yeah, going and getting out of the house was very, very good for me. This came, like, much later down the line. Actually, about, like, I guess, like, a year and a half ago, I finally got therapy for the first time. And after, I think, a month and a half of therapy, I got put on medications. Right? I got put on meds. And that really helped. But we'll talk about that in a second. I'm just gonna kind of go through this because I have slides on all of this. So, I'm really bad at this. Please forgive me. And then I also found a hobby that I loved, VTubing, which motivates me to do better. And I'll also talk about that, but I guess I'll give my own personal experience, right? So when I was in the heat of my depression, one of the things that really did help me was Hollow EN, their first generation, debuted when I was in the midst of my really bad depressive episode. And just having that sort of companionship, even if it was parasocial, really helped. So that's why I have a really soft spot for VTubing in my heart, because yeah, I don't even, yeah, it was rough out there, man. It's rough out here, you know? Clips were God-centering COVID, yeah. And, yeah. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later, sort of, so, oh god, I have no, oh god, I was reciting and practicing all of this last night in the shower, and now it's just kind of crumbling before my eyes. It's okay. It's okay. Parasocialness saves lives. It does. It does. If Anime Shark Girl was not there, I would have been really and truly alone. I would have been really and truly alone. Which, I don't know. It's alright. But yeah. Like I said, though, this is not how, this is not... Healing is not a linear thing. Healing has never been and never will be a linear thing. There is no right way to get better. You just have to figure out what works for you, and fuck it, if VTubing is what worked for me, who knows? Maybe it could work for you too, you know? So, but it has taken me a really long time to get from a place of where I literally wanted to kill myself every day. I was doing really evil things, and now, after the point of 5 or 6 years of just trying, even if sometimes not very much on specific days, I'm kind of at the point where I can talk to people and it's kind of okay and kind of normal. How evil? When I was 16, when I was from 15 to 16, I think I tried to kill myself at least 5 times. At least 5 different separate times. And that's not being limited to other things that suicidal people do. I'm sure you guys can imagine. Ashley Graves level evil? No, but I was definitely a big bitch to people. Was pretty evil. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm trying not to say too much because I really don't want this to be a stream about, like, I guess me, if that makes sense. I want it to be like a thing about how my experience more can help people, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's start with kind of how to get better-ish. All right? So, I think one of the best things that you can do is realize there's something fucked up and self-reflect. Okay? Like, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it bluntly. I was a piece of shit loser freakazoid. I was not a good person. I was a burden on people. I was annoying. I was weird. I was all of the bad adjectives. I was depressed. I was a loser. I smelled bad. All that nonsense, right? But that's okay. It's okay. Right? I was a lazy piece of shit that hated myself, and that is okay. The first step of trying to get better at anything is simply to realize that you have an issue. Because self-reflection is one of the most important things you can do. I have been struggling since I was extremely young. One of my first suicide attempts was when I was 10 or 11. I'm not kidding. It has been rough from the start, bros. I was dealt a very bad hand of cards. I was not allowed to get any type of professional help whatsoever, because not only was it expensive, but my parents are also conspiracy theorists like I was. And I came from a rough, rural southern town with... It was bad. It was bad, okay? There was no therapy. There was no medication. You thug that shit out, right? And so I took a lot of time when I was younger, and I did a lot of self-reflecting, just because a lot of the time, the only time that you can think nowadays is when you're alone by yourself with your thoughts, and I had a lot of time like that when I was younger. And so I do feel like if you are struggling with being a NEET or a hikikomori or depression or any type of, I don't know, mental illness or whatever, right? Simply just kind of taking a step back, right? And just kind of saying and compartmentalizing what's going on can really help. It is scary to be alone with your thoughts. It is scary, but it is something that you will have to face eventually. If you lie to yourself and you can't face that inner part of yourself, I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief, it's gonna be super fucking hard, because you're not gonna want to talk to anybody in therapy. You're not gonna want to... Basically, if you can't realize that something is wrong, you're not gonna do anything. You're gonna keep spiraling. Does that make sense? I'm trying to put this in a way that's understandable. I'm really just kind of spitballing right now. I'm kind of just improving all of this. I have a few notes written down, but yeah. Yeah, you can't keep pushing those thoughts deep down. They have to be brought up to the surface one way or another, because otherwise you're not going to confront them. And it's important to confront the things that needs to be changed. If you keep shoving it aside and pretending it doesn't exist, then, I mean, sure, it helps in the short term, but where are you going to be in the long term? Dead? Yep, you need to face your problems to solve them. I agree. So, I personally recommend sort of just sitting with yourself, right? I like to drive without music, or be in the shower by myself, do chores by myself, and just kind of talk to myself. Despite what people will say, talking to yourself is a great way to compartmentalize and self-reflect. Talking to yourself does not mean you're crazy. It means that you're compartmentalizing and you're thinking about things out loud. And if you say them while you're talking, you'll probably remember them better. And that goes into my next stuff. Any therapy and medicine you take will not help you if you first do not come to your terms with yourself as honestly as you can, you know? I would personally also write grievances that you have with yourself in a notebook or a Google Doc or something. Personally, I would choose a notebook. And I would write down the things that I am unhappy with, kind of, right? So, like, not necessarily journaling per se. Google Doc, fuck you. Okay, talking to yourself in front of a mirror. Very true. Unironically helps. Unironically. Talking to yourself is not schizophrenic, despite what people might say. It's very good for you. But, for example, if you think, right, you get, like, your insecurities and stuff, you know? You're like, oh, well, I'm a lazy piece of shit that can't even shower or brush her teeth, right? You write that down in a book? Okay, that's fine. You have something you want to change, you know? You have something that you want to change. That's good. That's a good place to start from, you know? Just a normal thing the brain does. I agree. That's a good thing. It's a good place to start. Okay, let's go. So, and now the next thing that you're going to want to do is to try to set some goals for yourself, okay? So, this one, admittedly, can be difficult, especially if you are alone. But we'll get into where other people can help you in a moment. But when you have identified your problems, you can start to realize how to solve those problems. Because I'm going to be honest with you, sitting there and feeling sorry for yourself is not gonna fucking do anything. And that's harsh wording, I know. But at some point, you have to realize that nobody can fix you except you. No alcohol, no drugs, no women, no addictions, nothing. Nothing can fix you except you. Small goals, at least to start with. I completely agree. Start making goals. They can be small goals. They can be big goals. I would personally recommend small goals. Small goals that are easy and manageable. They don't have to be big goals. If you do one thing a day, even if you rot the rest of the day, that is still progress. You could fold one piece of clothing, and that would be enough. If that is all you can manage that day, and that would be enough. Of course, you're going to want to start to make bigger goals after a while. But start with small, manageable stuff that you know that you can achieve. And then even then, sometimes you can't do things one day. That's fine, right? Sometimes shit is just hard and you just want to sit in bed and cry. And you know what? I think that's okay every once in a while, as long as we are still trying, ultimately, at the end of the day, to get better. You know? Baby steps in the right direction are still steps. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to the finish line, because you're not racing anybody. You're just getting there, you know? Personal hygiene is a great place to start your goals. I agree. Even just trying to brush your teeth or something. Taking a small shower. Realizing that you don't have to do things the way society tells you to. Like, for example, society will be like, you need to brush your teeth twice a day, otherwise you're disgusting and gross. Don't listen to that. if you can manage, if you are going from brushing your teeth once a week and then you go to twice a week, that's better than nothing. That's still progress. There is no right way to heal. As long, so yeah, slow and steady. Slow and steady. If you can do one thing differently, then there's always going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. There will always be hope. And you are not a lost cause. You know? Do it at night so they're not rotting while you sleep. Very true. Very true. So I started working. This is where push a little bit at some point. Yes. And this is where other people come in. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but one of the most important things to actually keeping up with those goals is to have any type of support system. It can even be like a therapist or something. And if you don't have anybody, if you are truly alone and you don't have anybody in the entire world to relate to or talk to or anything, you know, I would personally recommend a therapist or somebody. But even just setting a timer or something could help, you know? But having a friend or a therapist or parent can be helpful for keeping you accountable on those goals, right? For me, while I wouldn't exactly say it was a support system, my parents definitely did hold me accountable. But you know, reaching a goal is still reaching a goal. So, but let's also remember that there is no shame in reaching out for help, and that humans are pack animals and we are made to help each other. You may be a burden, and that is okay. But guess what? Humans are made to help people. You don't have to be alone. Shared suffering is less suffering. Okay? Other people probably have your best interest in mind. They probably do not hate you, no matter what your JFK brainworms might say. You know? Just talk to AI. Hey, you know what? If that helps, it helps, you know? There is no shame in it. If talking to AI is something that can help you, and you find that it helps, go for it, man. Go for it. You know? Don't surround yourself with shifty people. That is something that I can agree with. So, yeah. But just start those small goals. I could say it helped because I couldn't afford therapy. Yeah. Yeah, even if you just have one of those like AI companions and they help you to reach your goals and stuff, that's good, you know? Any progress is good progress. There's, like I keep saying it, but there is no right ways to heal, you know? How you go on sprees, though. True. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. All right. So, for this third slide, we're going to talk about professional help. And a lot of people, including me at some point in the past, would have been like, oh, well, I don't fucking need professional help. Therapists, they constantly fail me. Doctors, they're constantly trying to hurt me. They don't know what's fucking wrong with me. They don't know what's fucking wrong with me, you know? Like, it's nothing's gonna fucking help me. Nobody's gonna help me. They are there to help you. They are there to help you. Okay? It is not shameful. You're not a bad person for needing help. People are there to help you. Okay? Listen, I have been through at least 5 different therapists. At least. A lot of the time, they're fucking ass. You can kind of tell within the first 1 to 2 visits. And if you don't like them, that's okay. Find another one that you vibe with more. You will find one that is an angel on earth, and they will be your best friend forever. Well, maybe not your, like, your best friend, but they will help you, you know? I was very scared to talk to therapists because I had a very bad time with some therapists when I was younger. I didn't know how to self-censor, obviously, and I said, hey man, I want to kill myself. What do I do about wanting to kill myself? And then they sent me to the silly asylum. So yeah, I get it. Therapists sometimes are not very great. But when you find that one, you'll know. You'll know. Better reassurance than people would think. I agree. I agree. So, but it's also important to note, therapists will not make you better if you don't work with them. When you're going to therapy and when you're talking to a professional person for help, you need to engage with them. They are not going to sit there and they're not going to fucking pick your brain. You need to work with them. You need to come vulnerable and ready to know what problems you need to engage with. Otherwise, it's not gonna fucking work. That's something that nobody told me and I had to realize for myself, if that makes sense, right? I realized that the therapy sessions that I was having weren't working because I wasn't being vulnerable enough, because I was embarrassed. I was like, oh man, I can't do this. Like, I don't want to talk about anything. I want you to come at me with the problems first. I want you to save me. I don't know how to talk about this, right? And it's like, they are not mind readers. They're not mind readers. They're therapists. They are all people, flawed. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you can't trust them. Listen. I think another thing that also helped me is honestly not giving a fuck about what people think of me. It helps. It really does. Once you shed the fear of being afraid of what others think about you and how they're going to perceive you, things become a lot easier. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sure, will you be weird to some people? Yeah, but who gives a fuck? If they're not people that you care about, why would you care? Yes, don't let shame hold you back from healing. That's a very good way to put it. You just gotta be introspective on the fundamental level. I completely agree. If you're having trouble with self-reflection, you can go back to like what I said about the self-reflection stuff and kind of think and identify the problems you're having. And you can write those down. And so eventually when you do have those like meetings with the therapists and stuff, you will have that all just written down to like be able to talk to about. Does that make sense? Because I knew that when I would go in for therapy, I came across the issue a lot that I was not feeling particularly terrible, you know, that specific day. Like, things were okay enough as they could be for me being like really depressed, right? And so when I started to write down, and I'm putting emphasis on writing specifically because writing helps you remember. And also, it's also a coping mechanism thing for me. But we'll get to that in a later slide where I'll talk about that. if you write down those issues that you are having and then bring them to the therapist, you will have much better engagement and being able to talk to them and solving, or not solving necessarily, but learning how to deal with your issues, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like I said, I am very bad at this whole explaining thing, so if you do need any further explanation, let me know. I'll also have a questions slide at the very end of this, so no worries. Yeah. But basically, therapists are there to help you, so let them. If you come in to if you come into a therapy session and you expect them to solve all of your problems for you and instantly diagnose you like they're fucking Hannibal or something, it's not gonna work. You have unrealistic expectations, okay? You have to help them so that they can help you. Okay? And then you need to take what they give you and try to apply it. Okay? For example, I was in therapy, and something that my therapist said to me kind of had me have a light bulb in my head, right? And it was actually something that I was talking about a little bit earlier, where she said, any step is a good step. Like, you can make small goals to go forwards, right? You can make small goals and go forwards. Healing is not linear. Those were all things that I basically stole from my therapist, okay, guys? So, if you can take those small things and you can try, just try a little to apply them to your real life issues and scenarios, it can help a lot. Yeah. Okay. And then this one is medical professional help. So like psychologists. No, wait, is it psychologists versus what are the ones that prescribe you? The guys that prescribe you medicine. The guys that prescribe you medicine. So, in my personal experience, I went to therapy. Psychiatrist. Yes, psychiatrist. I went to therapy, and after about a month and a half or so, I was recommended SSRIs by my therapist. And I will tell you, I would not personally go to a psychiatrist first. I would not go to a psychiatrist or psychiatrist first, okay? This might be my conspiracy schizo in me. This might be my conspiracy schizo in me, okay? But I do hear that if you do go to psychiatrists, I don't know how to say it. Okay, if you go to psychiatrists and you request medicine, they're going to give it to you because that's how they get paid, right? And I don't know. I would personally not recommend going to them, and I would recommend going to a therapist first so that they can give you, like, tell you what is good for you, if that makes sense. And that way you'll know what can work for you better, you know? Thank you for the $1 again, Winter. I appreciate it. Was recently confirmed that SSRIs don't actually help a whole lot either. Well, I'm not sure about that because I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say I'm not going to say anything about that. They personally work for me. If I don't take them, I notice that I revert back into a lot of my old habits, and I get very irritated and mean and angry and mean-spirited about literally everything. So, don't therapists do the same? No, therapists cannot prescribe you medicine. They can recommend it, but they can't prescribe you it or like cut anything from as where I'm sure. Depends on the place. Yeah, I guess it depends on the place. I'm based in America, so your healthcare system may be different. I am in America, so your health, you may be different. So, want you to keep coming back, I mean? Maybe, I don't know. Prevents them from taking it seriously and giving it a genuine try due to their personal views. I agree. I agree. Because I was stuck in that area for a long time. I was stuck in the area for a long time where I was like, oh, well, they're trying to fucking poison me. I don't need their help. I just need myself. And, I don't know about you guys, but trusting in modern medicine is probably a good thing. So, yeah. Yeah. I would say, if anything does feel wrong, make sure to talk to them. Advocate for your advocate for your own health. Do your own research. You feel me? But yeah. So, but also, medication is a slippery slope because personally, in my view, you gotta think about how do I say this? You have to think about it like a roller coaster, sort of. Right? There are hills. Like a roller coaster hill, right? 90% of getting up that hill is going to be you. The 10% left will be... The 10% left, if need be, should be medicine. Trust but verify. Yes, I agree. Trust, but if you don't trust, always get a second opinion. I agree. Nobody is perfect. And if you feel like something is wrong, I would say trust your gut. You know? But also remember that doctors did go to medical school, so they probably know more than you. But also, like, verify and look at reviews, you know, get second opinions, all that. Addictive AF antidepressants for minor cases doesn't happen a lot in Spain, but you can sue them for malpractice and easily ruin their career. Interesting. Wow. I guess I'm just trying to describe my personal relationship with the medication that I take. And it has helped me. A lot of the time it can be very rough, especially trying to get on medication because there's a long adjustment period. But only you know your body. Yes, I agree. So, yes. Journey won't automatically be easier kind of thing. I agree, Slender. That's a great way to put it. That is a great way to put it. You've got to climb the mountain yourself. The equipment won't do it for you. An incredible way of putting it. Yes. Yes. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to take a sip of water because my throat's kind of getting a little raw. I'm not going to lie to you. Here. I'll pause the sadness. And I'll make a quick Family Guy cutaway while I'm taking a sip of water. My slide is currently on 9/11. So yeah. Brought to you by Kirsha Gamer Subs. Just though with the side effects that, yeah. The one that I take is Zoloft, so yeah. But just make sure that you find the one that works for you. And if something doesn't feel right, listen to your body. It's important. That reminds me of the time I drank lemonade with the Prophet Muhammad. Thank you for the TED Talk. You're welcome. All right, let's continue on. We're back into lock-in mode. Okay. So, this is the part where you've taken all the medical steps that you can, including professional help. And this is the time where it is on you. Because without sugarcoating it, 90% of this is going to rely on you. Nobody will fix you except for you. I cannot stress this enough. Nobody will fix you except for you. Not money, not women, not drugs, not alcohol, not any type of addiction, nothing. You need to take initiative, no matter how hard it might be. And granted, if you're going through therapy, right, and you're trying to get on medicine if need be, it should be a little bit easier to start doing this, but it will still be hard. There is no sugarcoating it, okay? Yeah, if you think you found a quick fix, it's not a fix. It will hurt you in the long run. Yeah. So, this next stuff is to start getting out of your comfort zone. I will say, and I'll say this, I hate routines. I hate routines. They make me anxious. I don't like it when I can't be spontaneous and do things the way that I want to. Okay? However, they can help. They help a lot, actually. Like I said earlier, one of the biggest things that got me actually out of my room after a year of sitting inside and being disgusting, no showering, no brushing my teeth, not talking to anybody, constantly wanting to die, was getting a job. You may hate routines, and I hate them too, but they're good for you. They're good for you. Okay? Getting a job, I hope this doesn't sound like insane, right? But it helps. Any type of routine helps. Including jobs. Jobs are one of the biggest routines that force you to go, right? It forces you outside and it forces you to talk to others, no matter how much you might not like it. Because I fucking hated mine, you know? I hated it. It was fucking awful. I got migraines, I got headaches, the people were mean. I was constantly anxious all the fucking time. But it got me outside. And sometimes, like I said, taking those first steps is hard. It's difficult. There's no way to sugarcoat it. The job market is not great right now. I agree. That's why I'm putting this under routines in general. Right? Because that is the easiest way to get yourself into a routine. There are other ways of doing it. For example, I had a really bad depressive flare-up episode, like a year and a half ago now. And during that time, I was having the same struggles that I was during my really, really, really bad depressive episode, where I didn't want to go outside, I didn't want to talk to anybody, I was so anxious, I didn't want to do anything at all, I just literally wanted to stay inside and just be by myself all this fucking time, right? And one of the things that kind of helped me was listing. I would sit down at a notebook or a piece of paper, and I kept a little notepad on my desk, okay? And it would, every day when I would get up, whenever that was, I would make a list of things that I wanted to do that day. And then I would go through and try to do them. And it kept me on track, and it sort of helped, okay? I still do that now. If I have something that I want to get done, I will sit there and I will list something. Even if it's a low-paying job, it helps. True. You know? Just finding that routine, finding something that will get you out of the house and talking to people. It will help. For example, I'm in college now, okay? My chat knows this. I'm in college. One of the other best ways that you can get yourself out there is clubs and on-campus activities, or if you're not in college, community centers and clubs, or like recreation centers, taking classes, you know? You know? What if things don't go to plan? That's okay. That's all right. As long, it sort of depends on where you are in the healing process, right? If things are bad, if you know things are bad, right? And you can only get one thing done that day, that's fine. If today's one of those days where it's really bad, that's fine. But, you know, maybe if you think you can do it, try to go for 2. You know? Yep. There is a plan, no matter how small. It's a great way to put it. Thank you, Slender. Leaving out Tinder? I don't know. I've never used shitty dating apps. So I personally would not use those. That kind of goes under the women will not fix you thing for me. So either way, just trying. Just trying to get out of the house. Like I said, if you are a hikikomori or a NEET, I would say try to get a job, and I mean that in the least offensive and mean way possible. It will help. I know the job market is shit, but it will help. Even if you can just manage something small for like 10 hours a week locally, that's fine. You know? You know? Same goes for clubs, right? Just getting out of the house, making sure you have those responsibilities that make you get out, it helps. It helps. You know? Hope I get one soon. Yeah. I think, so the fourth thing that I have on here is also really important to me, but developing hobbies and also making a strong community out of those hobbies. And then like I have here, trying out art and joining a community of artists, right? For me personally, this is where VTubing comes in. Ever since I watched Gargura's debut stream when I was super fucking depressed and wanted to kill myself, I have loved VTubers, okay? For me, this is the thing that gives me a purpose and keeps me going. It keeps me on track. I have constantly projects and stuff that I'm trying to do, right? Because I care about it and I love it, right? If you can find something that genuinely inspires you, that makes you have creativity and love in your heart, right? It works. It works. You know? It works. Find your Gura. Yeah. And creating stuff that you just enjoy, no matter how popular, can improve your mood tenfold. I agree. Because not only will just having the idea of getting someone, not even only the idea of developing a hobby and being fulfilled by that hobby, right? But especially having a community of people around you that love the same thing that you do. It can be so rewarding and fulfilling because you'll make friends, you know? You might make friends that'll last for a really long time. And then there you go. You have a support group now, right? You have a reason to talk to people, you know? It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. It's a good thing. I hope I'm explaining this properly. My brain is kind of, with trusting people, I can hardly believe them, give up and interact with them. Healing requires you to be vulnerable, chat. Sometimes people will hurt you. There isn't much that you can do about it. People will hurt you. I have been hurt a lot. I've hurt people a lot. People hurt people, okay? But you're never going to find anybody that you can truly trust and be around if you don't at least try. It is hard. It is so hard. There is nothing harder in the world. Well, actually, there might be. I don't know. If you mine emerald and, like, if you're a child slave in Africa mining emerald for, like, Tesla, that might be a little bit harder. But, like, sorry. I had to take a break. Getting a pet is also a huge plus. I actually didn't consider that. Yeah, I guess getting a pet could really help as well. Dogs make you go out. They do make you go out. I have not had any animals in a very long time. We don't have any pets, so yeah, I guess that actually could work. Chat, get a dog. Dogs make you go outside, you know? They make you go outside, they walk them, they love you. Get a dog, guys. As long as you have a backup plan. True. Or a cat, yeah, just get a pet. Someone's relying on you, yeah. You know? That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. Thank you. See? That's a great way. That's a great way to start trying to get out of your comfort zone and to start doing things again, you know? Neglecting his because he couldn't afford it. That is true. That is true. Or you could start with something that doesn't, like, I guess, require a lot of attention. Like a turtle. You get, like, a turtle or something. You know? Thank you for the $10, Winter. I appreciate it. Surround something that will help. Surround yourself with those who will give you feedback, an honest one. Those people will let you know you're on the right track. Find a good fighting friend. I completely and wholeheartedly agree with you. I think I'll actually talk about friends later down in the line, because friends can either make or break you. I'm gonna be so honest. People are difficult. People are a very difficult variable to deal with, but they are unfortunately the biggest variable. So let me get through this. Let me get through this. So I hear you guys. I hear people say this all the time, and people say it for a good reason. Guys, you gotta try exercising a little, okay? Trust me. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, you know? You sit there, you do like 5 push-ups or something. Exercising can make you a lot happier. It releases the happy chemicals in your brain. You know? If it's something you don't want to do, that's okay. There's other ways to feel better. Thank you for the $20, Sarge. There's a bunny in my backyard. I think I will work on befriending him. Good. I'm glad. Thank you. You know? Thank you. I appreciate that. But I love my chubby belly. You know what? That's okay. If you like that, that's fine. Does competitive jerkmate count? No, competitive jerkmate does not count as exercise. I've been trying to go out on more walks recently, but it's been constantly blazing hot outside. I get really sweaty. I would say try doing, They have lots of workout videos on YouTube that you can look up. I do those a lot on my own time. if it can help you, I would also recommend maybe going earlier in the morning, but I know that can be really difficult for a lot of people. It's difficult for me too. So, you could do yoga or YouTube workout videos. Those help too. And they're usually not super long either. And you can do very like slow, low intensity yoga just to kind of feel things out, you know? Just to sort of feel things out. Exercise is not the sole thing that you should be focusing on, but it can definitely help. So, number 6, prioritize yourself. Listen, sometimes doing something will make you feel like shit. If you know it's going to send you spiraling, don't fucking do it. Actually, here, I'll include that with number 8, but we'll go on to 7, which is self-care, okay? Sometimes sitting back and taking a nice shower can help. For example, when you take care of yourself and you work on your presentation, you will notice that your confidence goes up. For example, I have been dressing up a lot as of late. I've been dressing up a lot as of late, it makes me feel a lot more confident and better about myself whenever I go outside. So that way I'm more confident, I can talk to people easier, and it makes me feel better about myself. And having that self-confidence is important. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. So instead of wearing pajamas outside, you could start with sweatpants and a t-shirt. And then you go up from sweatpants and a t-shirt to jeans and a shirt. You know? Because, like, I used to exclusively wear pajamas outside. I used to exclusively wear pajamas outside and sweatpants. I would wear the same pair of bright pink pajamas outside because I was genuinely too depressed to change. And I was like, it doesn't matter anyways because I'm going to go home and sleep anyways. You know? If you can LARP and pretend that you're a professional, it somehow fucking works. I don't know the psychology behind it, but it sort of works, right? You know? Pajamas are above sweats, but I guess it's all context. I would consider pajamas below sweats, but getting your hair fixed, shaving, using conditioner can help you see yourself in another. I agree. Just making sure that you can look in the mirror and you can be a little confident about the way that you look can really help. Of course, looks are not everything, but if you present yourself in a way that you are proud of, other people will also look at you better, you know? You do something when you're wearing nice clothes, true. All right. So, this next one is something I think I have a lot of personal experience with. You know? So, I think one of the biggest things that holds a lot of people back from actually getting better is they keep engaging in things that hurt them. And something that makes me really upset is that the genuine medical term for this is called being triggered. And BuzzFeed feminists ruined it. I need you to stick with me on this one, okay? It is a genuine medical thing, and it is important, okay? If you get triggered by these things, by things that make you upset, it can genuinely make you spiral again, okay? For example, I used to be a D1 rage baiter online when I was super depressed. I would go online and I would rage bait people on the internet for fun. I would stay up all night arguing with people just because I could, okay? I I was very involved in politics. I was really involved in politics, and as previously mentioned, I watched a lot of snuff and gore videos to bide the time, right? And one day, I realized, hey, this makes me upset. I get upset by this. I don't want to watch this stuff. I don't want to do this anymore. And chat, when I stopped arguing with random strangers online, you'll never guess what happened. I got happier. When I stopped engaging with politics and I pretended they don't exist anymore, I got happier. Okay? When I stopped watching gore videos and people dying in horrendous ways, I got happier. Chat, you gotta realize the things that trigger you and you gotta take them out of your life. I'm being so serious. If you realize that there is something that'll make you extremely upset, for example, something that made me spiral a year and a half ago was my mom died, and I had some friends who I thought were friends betray me in the same week. That's what made me kind of have a moment. I had a really bad moment for about like 3 to 4 months or something where I was really depressed. I didn't want to fucking talk to anybody. I think I literally only stayed in, I think I only went outside when I had to. Okay? So, and I realized that, hey, the reason this happened was because I got triggered by stuff that happened. And so my brain did the spiral. Okay? So, if you can figure out, and if you can pick your brain, and if you can figure out what makes your brain spiral, you can avoid having it spiral altogether. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So sorry that happened. It's okay. Like I said, both of my parents are already dead. It's good. So you just don't care about it? You sort of have to kind of not care. Right? You have to come to peace with yourself about certain things. Even if you enjoy something, if it makes you upset, you might have to stop doing it. For example, fuck, I forgot the train of thought that I was lined with that. I forgot my train of thought. Because you're used to it. I agree. You have to realize what hurts you and you have to stop that behavior. I agree. That's why I stopped engaging with political stuff. That's why I don't have friends anyways, because they will do the same. That's not how you should go about that. That's not how you should go about that. I'll talk about that later, though. I'm trying to... I want to start reading chat stuff and save questions for the end, so then that way I can talk more in depth and I can go over all the basics and stuff first. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. So then, and then 9, we already talked about routines. Then literally 10, literally just try your best to normie max. It is okay to be weird and to be involved in weird fucking hobbies. It is okay if you have a weird, quirky sense of humor. That's fine. It's fine if you dress weird. But you got to at least try. You gotta at least try. your very best to just function. That's what normie maxing is meaning here, okay? Just to function. Okay? I don't know if I can explain it any better. I am still the same person that I was. I'm still the same person that I am. I still enjoy all the same weird shit. I just kind of don't give a shit anymore. Despite what people will tell you, being normal is not a bad thing. Normal people usually are not burdened by knowledge. You know? Sports ball is great for normie maxing. Yeah, I agree. Sports is a great way to join a community. Just like I said, it's a hobby in a community. Just like in number 4. You'll develop friends and stuff too. You know? It's great. Here, I don't know. Genus. I don't know. I feel a moral obligation to butt in whenever someone has an outrageous political take. See, that's the way I kind of felt before with politics. I was extremely involved in politics and I love debating people and all that nonsense. But it got to the point in my brain where I was so black-pilled about literally everything that it was genuinely making me depressed, right? There's nothing I can do. The world sucks. Everyone is going to die. They could press the nuclear button right now and there's nothing I can do about it. My life is insignificant. Nobody will ever care about me. Politicians don't give a fuck about me. They would sell me. They would sell me if it meant that they could get an extra buck, right? You gotta stop caring. I told my therapist about that. She was like, listen, how are you going to try to save other people if you first cannot prioritize and save yourself? I get where people are coming from with the moral qualms and stuff with politics. However, you're not going to save the world. Listen, 99% of us are not going to do anything for the world. We don't have the power to. So don't worry about it. Focus on yourself. And when you have the mental capacity to worry about those things, you can worry about them. Okay? Does that make sense? Good. That's a bit defeatist. Sometimes being defeatist is just being real. You can have those optimistic looks in life. That's fine. But if you first cannot heal yourself, you cannot heal anybody else. If you first... Yeah, when the plane is crashing, you put your oxygen mask on first, then you help the person next to you. That's a great way to put it, ATF. That's incredible. You know? Exactly. You have to think about what is in your life that you can control. Why YouTube is recommending me this stream. Well, welcome. I was also a shut-in. It's okay. I understand. You know? It's okay. Then local, then further out. I agree. I agree. I agree. The outside is really scary for me. Give me 2 more slides. Give me 2 more slides and we'll talk about it. Okay, I'm gonna move on from this slide. Oh, what? Oh, wait, here it is. Okay. Here. Chat. Sometimes, no matter how hard you fucking try, it will get worse. Okay? Sometimes, it's going to get worse. There will be things that will happen that will make you spiral. Okay? You can't avoid it. It'll happen. It'll get worse. Healing is not a linear process. And sometimes it will get bad. Okay? Life is literally a roller coaster. Not to sound like a white girl, but life is literally a roller coaster, okay? It will have its ups and downs. Sometimes it will be good, sometimes it will be bad. And all you have to do is keep trying. It is hard. It is so, so hard. Sometimes you'll backslide into your old habits. It happened to me, right? Just like how I said a year and a half ago, when my mom died, my friends did all that nonsense, I backslid. I backslid into the person who I was before. That is okay, but you have to realize you have to make it an opportunity to get better. If you realize that it is happening, you need to take steps for it to get better again. With enough steps forward, even if you take some steps back sometimes, you will get to the finish line, okay? Change doesn't happen overnight. Like I said, it's taken me 5 or 6 years to get to the point where I can even just interact with people on a base level. And even then, like I said, I still feel like a skinwalker when I talk to people. I will say things and it won't make sense, and I'll stumble over my words and it'll just make it worse, and I'll do things and people will look at me like I'm the most retarded person on planet Earth, okay? They won't get it, they won't understand. All right? That's okay. You're healing. Get up. It is okay. There is no right way to heal, but the only way conditions like these win is if you give up entirely. And at the end of the day, if you at least just try to get up and keep going, you can do it. Okay? They'll forget about your awkwardness in a few moments. True. Fall better. Avoid self-destructing when something bad inevitably happens. That is a great way to go about it. Yes, I completely agree. Falling better is a good way to go about it. Yes. Okay. I've reached the end of my presentation. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns? For the rest of the stream, I will be trying to just talk about things that I maybe didn't address all the way through, or just issues in general, you know? Will this be on the test? No. People are even more scary than going outside. Even thinking about it makes me anxious. Listen. I will keep it 100% real with you, okay? People are difficult, okay? You will get hurt. I have been hurt many times by many people close to me. And unfortunately, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, okay? But what is important is to keep trying. Because eventually, you will find those people that you can trust. My mom had to deal with the same thing. She had a lot of mean people that surrounded her. And honestly, the best thing that you can do is find those early signs of friends, or you could find those early signs of people who might not have your best interests in mind, and then cut them off early. People are people, you know? But if you don't take that chance, then you're going to remain stagnant. The best thing that you can do is to work on yourself, get yourself to a place where you are stable, and then work on other people. Kind of. I'm trying my best to explain things here. I'm not any type of... I haven't even taken... I think I chat GPT'd my psychology class in not high school, in college. In high school, I did it. But, venting, even though I never showed up on your streams. It's okay. This stream is literally the trauma dump the stream. It's okay. You know? It's alright if you don't have an answer right now, but after adopting this mindset, where do you want to take it in the future? This is kind of a deep question, but I'll be honest about it. There's a lot of generational issues that happen in my family. generational poverty, generational abuse, generational blah, 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 right? When I finally reach that stage in my life where I can fully say that I am healed and I am happy and I am a normie, if I ever manage to have kids for some fucking reason, man, I want to do better. And if that never happens, I guess even just now, I guess you could just put it all under the umbrella of, like, wanting to help people with what I have experienced. Because I feel like stuff like this does not get spoken about often enough. People like to pretend that things are okay when they're not okay. People don't want to talk about hard things because they're hard, right? If I can help one person with any of the knowledge or coping mechanisms or anything that I had to experience while growing up, then I consider that a job well done. I had to go through a lot in my childhood. I guess I'll just talk about it. I guess there really isn't a better context. I'll kind of just go over it very briefly because I don't really want to get into it, but like everything bad that you could possibly imagine happening has probably happened to me before. And if I can take any of that suffering that I had to endure for so long by myself and turn it into something positive that can help anybody, I would be happy. Because a lot of people suffer in silence and they don't have anybody who will understand or be able to talk about their problems to. You know? For example, without going into it too much, I had to deal with a lot of abuse growing up. A lot of really, really bad things. And learning those coping mechanisms and stuff when I was not allowed to reach out for any type of help, when I truly did feel stuck, right? Because in situations like that, they're very tricky. You can't exactly reach out to people for help. If I can... I guess I keep repeating myself, but if I can take what I learned from those traumatic experiences from my younger self, and I can take her suffering and pass it on to be something good, then I feel like I'm doing her a service. Does that make sense? It feels like that, for me, it feels like all of that suffering was worth it. Not worth it necessarily, but it had a purpose. It could serve a purpose. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm glad that I'm able to do this. This whole VTubing thing has really changed my life for the better. To be honest with you, I thought I was gonna be dead before I was 18. So the fact that I'm kind of like an adult now is really weird, especially now that I have like people that'll listen to me and everything. So I guess the least I could do is pay it forward, you know? So, yeah. Yeah. Much better place now. I am in a much better place now. I can say that I have been, I think, like a year and a half now without wanting to actively kill myself, which is a good thing. And yet I endure. Yes. Yeah. Yesterday I had one of the worst days of my life, to be honest, and your live stream being retarded made me laugh really. Thanks, Lou. Sorry if I'm being too parasocial. No, it's okay. That's fine. Can I be honest with you? I was watching the Phase Euphoria debuts the day my mom died. And just watching them act retarded on stream really helped with me being sad about that. So I get it. I get it. It's good to have those distractions at points in time, right? It's good to have distractions. It's good. Sometimes escapism is a good thing. For example, I think finding purpose in like those hobbies that you can escape to is definitely a good thing, because while too much escapism is not good, just like in everything, moderation is always key. It can help, you know? You're not crazy. It's okay. The day after my dad died, all I did was play Project Sekai all day because I had no idea what to do. So I think escapism is a very human thing. Escapism is a very human thing. Just hearing another voice can do wonders. I agree. I agree. Your world, of course, but it can help you bear the weight of the world a little bit more. I agree. I agree. I think that's why it's so important to find those hobbies and, I guess, media and stuff that can really help you and help you relate. For example, not to shill my favorite band, but one of my favorite bands of all time is 21 Pilots, and I know, cringe Tumblr girl band. They really did help me. It's, if you can find those things that you can resonate with and that make you feel like you have a purpose and a community around you and keep pushing you to go on no matter how bad things might get, right? It can help. For example, when I was younger, I had their album Vessel on CD, and when I would get really sad, I would sit under my bed and I would listen to them on my shitty little radio with my CD player, and I would cry myself to sleep. But you know what? I'm glad, because honestly, it's okay in admitting that like some certain things help, right? Like I don't even know if I would still be here if I didn't have some of their music at some point in time, you know? It's okay to find comfort in those things. Who cares if it's cringe? Who cares if the things you like are cringe to whoever else? If it helps you, if it's something you like, go for it, you know? Are rooted in toxicity. Of course, it's easy to get in the communities and fall in their pit of the vocal minority echo chamber. I agree. I agree. Art saves lives. I agree. Good art can truly save you. You know, tuned in late and the stream's already more relatable than the last 2 years of videos I watched combined. Well, I appreciate that. I'm speaking from no science and just experience, so yeah. Fullness of joy in life here. I agree. I agree. I do think one of the biggest revelations that I had recently is that you don't have to be normal. You know? You don't have to be normal. Sometimes freeing yourself of that normal perception and just doing things the way you want to is the best way you can. For example, I used to self-deprecate about me liking anime all the time. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just weird, and I hate the fact I hate the fact that I like anime. Haha, this shit's so weird, but I'm different, you know? I'm different. Lolita, thank you for the $10. Glad you are with us. Sudoku stream? Do you mean suicide or Sudoku, the Japanese game? Thank you for the 10 euros. I appreciate it. But, you got, like, unironically, being cringe and free may help. If you relieve yourself of those societal expectations to an extent. The game, come on, girl. Maybe. I do like Sudoku. You know? So, yeah. Coloring book stream when? I don't even think I have any, to be honest with you. But yeah. Defined by anyone anyway, because we all see the world differently. I agree. There was a lot of times where I wished that I had just been born differently. For example, I used to say this to myself a lot. Like, I would look at other people who didn't seem like they had any issues, right? Like the picture perfect people with picture perfect faces, picture perfect lives, picture perfect personalities, picture perfect families, all that stuff, right? And I was like, damn, why wasn't I born like that? Why wasn't my hand of cards complete aces, right? And I think a better way to go about thinking that mindset, I think a better way to go about it is, okay, I was dealt a shitty hand. There's nothing I can do about it. The past is the past. The fact that I am still here right now means that I can always change. I can turn my life into that idealistic version that I want. All I have to do is work for it. You know? Thank you for the $2, Genus. I appreciate it. Used to watch Disney shows and wonder, is this what a family is supposed to be like? I did the same thing. It made me really depressed. I did the same thing. Comparing yourself to others is the #1 cause of self-worth issues and depression. I agree. I also agree. €3 here, see. Oh, sorry. Thank you for the €2. And it helped me socialize more. That's interesting, Slender. Just faked it until you make it. Unironically, faking it until you make it is kind of a strategy, honestly. A lot of the time, if you pretend you know what you're doing, even if you don't, if you're confident enough about it, people will not question you most of the time, you know? I think it's important to realize, though, that you can't change the past. You can only change the future, which is so, like, cringe and Buddha levels of fucking weird type shit, right? But, like, I don't know. Most people are focused on themselves. They're not really focused on you, if that helps any. Most people are focused on their own issues and insecurities and what minor mistake they made that day. You know? The blind shot at a dartboard. Sorry, I hope all of this is making sense. Rather than backwards. Do try my best, however. Trying your best is sometimes all that you can ask for. Like I said, you don't have to be perfect. Nobody is ever perfect. There's a lot of times where you will genuinely slip up and things will get worse. You know? And all you can do is just try. Thank you, of course. I just want to help. Next year, we'll try for my PhD in the field. Well, congratulations. I'm the same way. Honestly, I thought I was going to be dead before I even got the chance to apply to a college. And now here I am, the first college graduate, or not graduate, the first person who's going to get a degree from a college, technically 2 degrees, and having good grades and stuff. And I went from basically almost flunking out of high school because I didn't ever try and I didn't go for a whole year to being good, you know? The VOD to see the earlier slides, of course. Worry about everyone else. Wear seatbelts though. Helps with bumps in the road. True. True. You got a lot of really good metaphors, Slender. I appreciate that. Do the kids still say swag? Yeah, I still say swag, but I still say awesome sauce as well. Calming, helpful, and relatable. That's good. That's good. One of my main concerns was it was gonna come off as like overly preachy or like not relatable in the slightest. So I'm really glad that if you have even given one, if even one thing I've said here has helped you in any case of the matter, I would be happy. Thank you. Am I here? Any of my message showing? Hi, GPP. Long-term plans? Graduate. Travel. Do VTubing. Do some kind of music thing. Help people. I don't know. Honestly, taking it one day at a time. I'm trying not to worry too much about the future and how things will be because, honestly, it stresses me out. And I've found that if I think less about the things that stress me out and I just take things as they come, it's easier to deal with. Not knowing can be good too. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes just going where the wind takes you is a good thing, you know? You know? Make a positive remark on the world is enough. Yeah. To feel positive. I agree. I agree. Causes of suffering. You only have so much time on this earth, so try to be as present as you possibly can in your current moment. Thank you for the $5, Pallid. Good people in the world because I am good, and I am not special. I'm glad I'm not special because of that. I agree. I think that's a good way of putting it. I don't think most humans intentionally want to hurt people. I think most people are good. Most people do not have your worst interest in mind, and most people are probably suffering the same as you are. But I do think I think there's a lot of good people in the world, you know? There's this one quote from Evangelion that I really like. Hold on. There's this one quote from Evangelion that I really like. Here. And I know quoting an anime is like, haha, la cringe or whatever, but I really like this quote. It's from Evangelion. It's, anywhere can be paradise as long as you have the will to live. After all, you are alive, so you will always have the chance to be happy. As long as the sun, the moon, and the earth exist, everything will be alright. And I think that quote has stuck with me since I watched it the very first time. It kind of just like, man, you know? You know? good intentions don't mean much. That's fair. I just think most people do have good intentions. I think sometimes they can get fucked up. I think sometimes people can hurt other people. I don't think that's a reason to give up on humanity entirely, though. You know? Not as profound as the Thug Shaker quote, but I think it works. Is Evangelion worth watching in the Big 25? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey Lou, if going forward, whenever you exercise, can you post about it in the gym channel? It would help motivate me and probably keep other guys going too. Of course. I wouldn't mind it. Yeah. A lot of productivity happens at the edge of desperation. That is good. I agree. I agree. Yeah. I agree. In any case, I hope this stream helped. Do you guys have any final remarks or anything before I start wrapping it up? Any final questions, comments, concerns? Anything you want me to try to woman-splain divine knowledge or whatever the fuck? Just enjoy the best ones the orchards have to offer more. True. True. I don't watch the news and I haven't been outside for years. Got nothing better to do than watch the VOD later. That's okay. That's okay. I hope this video will at least help you take a step in the right direction. I hope anything of what I said has been helpful, you know? The most important thing to do is just start. Even if you got 100 problems, 99 can wait for a while. I 100% agree. I agree. I agree. Why is your cowlick with an angle and not like a twist? He has back problems. my cowlick has back problems. He needs to see a chiropractor. You're pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you. More Olympus because Canto 4 and 7 are hope-filled and cure depression. Oh, that's good. I'm excited. Chat, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this one with, treat yourself nicely today. You've been through a lot. Life is really hard. Life is really fucking hard and really difficult. Treat yourself nicely. Get an ice cream. Get something that makes you happy today. If things are rough, remember that you're still alive. And being alive is one of the most beautiful blessings that you can have. Because you are afforded the chance to change things no matter how bad that they got. Okay? You know? Lou, do you think I'm at fault? Hold on. Oh! No, my mouse fell! Oh my god, I'm sorry. I was gonna read that. Fuck. Nope. My mouse fell. Do you think I'm at fault for not being what entitled people demand me to be? No. No. I think as long as you are trying your best, whatever your best might be right now, that's fine. Life is hard. You know? Okay. Chat, treat yourself nicely today. Do something for you. The stream has been both a bummer and sort of hope-pilled. But I hope that some of my personal lived experience could at least sort of help. So, yeah. Stuff like this doesn't really get talked about a whole bunch, so I figured I could probably help some people. Especially because I know that when I was younger, having anybody be able to talk and sympathize with the issues that I was going through was a godsend. It made me, sometimes feeling less alone can really help, you know? Just feeling less alone and feeling like you are not the only one struggling in this world can be so much. So, yeah. Alright, failers. I hope that you guys enjoyed one. In media, it's always hikikomori. Stop being hikikomori. Sometimes it makes me feel abandoned. I think it's because being hikikomori is very damaging to your mental health. I do think that you should probably aim to always be better. But sometimes you will not always be better, and that is okay. I'm trying my best, man. You know? Thanks, Therapy Horse. You're welcome. I hope this was sort of good. Alright, fellers. Take care of yourself. Try your best. Life is really hard, and I'm really proud of you for making it this far. You're very strong. We're all much stronger than we think we are. So, yeah. Alright, guys. Love living despite it. The best thing you can do is take one day at a time. Okay? Okay. Alright, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow for whatever the fuck I have planned tomorrow. Hope life get better. I hope your guys' lives get good, too. Alright, fellas. I'll see you all later. Thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something. Alright. Oyalumi! Bye 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 bye! Oyalumi. Bye. Duh.